What's up, everyone? Epo Dempsey Roll here, aka Rayo. I'm back. I'm back with more Slay the Spire. So, as of late, I've been doing quite a bit of model, hobby building, painting miniatures, which is awesome. I really enjoy doing that, but I think it's time for a little break, a little departure from that, just to mix it up. And we are very close now, only a matter of days before the release of Elden Ring, and so it's just hard to even think straight, really. I'm very excited for that game, where there's been some talk about the performance of the game, and possibly it might not be great. I'm a little nervous about that, but we'll see. So, instead of painting, because I've been doing that quite a bit, instead of just staring at a wall waiting for Elden Ring, let's just play some Slay the Spire. Let's just get into it. Standard. Let's see. Let's try out this character. Hold on a second. Oh, okay. So this is the whole Ascension thing is dependent on the character that you choose. Okay, I actually didn't realize that. Well, let's try this Watcher while my brain is kind of like ready to play, because I feel like the longer I play, I'll probably my brain will just be fried, and I won't be able to properly gauge what I'm supposed to do. So yeah, I'm not very familiar with the Watcher, a blind ascetic who has come to evaluate the Spire, master of the divine stances. Pure water. At the start of each combat, add a miracle in your hand. I don't even know what a miracle is. Oh, let's just go and see. Okay, talk. Remove a card from your deck. Obtain a random relic. Oh. Okay, let's. What is this? If you end your turn without block, gain 6 block. Goro. What is up, Goro? Nice and early, right at the start. I pretty much just started. How you doing? A whale. Yeah, 3-eyed whale. Well, I guess he has 6 eyes, maybe on the other side of his head. What is this? Pure water. At the start of each combat, add a miracle into your hand. I don't even know what a miracle is. I'm not familiar with this character, so let's just see. Now we have to choose a path, and I'm not really sure what's the best path. Let's just go with this one. This could be a big fail of a mission, of a run. Oh, okay, here's a miracle. Retain. Retain cards are not discarded at the end of the turn. Gain energy. Remove. Okay, understood. I understand. Yeah, I wonder how useful this is. I'm not fully understanding. It's just a way to get an extra energy for your turn. 5 block. What's this guy gonna do? Buff. All right, let's just do it. Let's just do it. There you go. So we should maintain this card, yeah. And what is this? Orichalcum? If you end your turn... Oh, yeah, I remember that. Okay. So he's going to hit for 6, so let's block. Okay, hold on. What's this? Intercom. Upon exiting this stance, gain 2 power. So, yes, 2 energy. So the thing about the Ascetic, or rather the Watcher, is that she can go between stances. And yeah, I'm not really... I've only played this character once, so yeah, I really don't understand the mechanics. You deal and receive double damage. Deal and receive double attack damage, so that's kind of not good. Okay, let's just get this going. And we're going to block everything now. And we got to end the turn, I guess. Enter Wrath. It's gonna hit for 9. So the Wrath stance is like a Berserk kind of deal where you can do more damage, but you take a lot more damage back. So I'm kind of afraid of using it because I don't want to take too much damage. Eight. Playing very conservatively. Okay, 15. I mean, I can block it fully, but I'm not attacking back. That's the kind of shitty thing. With the other characters that I've played, even if I play defensively, I can still kind of, still attack. I can still be on the offense while I'm on the defense. Goro, what do you mean by playing conservatively? Withholding your most powerful attacks? No, it's more like, I guess maybe conservatively is not the right way. It's more like defensively, like overly defensive. It's like with the other characters that I've been playing in this game, you can kind of play defensively while still using other means to attack. So maybe that's a better way of putting it. But yeah, you can't like if well, I don't know what I'm saying. Let's just carry on. That's the thing about this game. I kind of have to devote like a portion of my brain to playing it while I'm talking. Yeah. All right. Yeah, see, I'm just like kind of on the defense here. And I'm not really trying to attack back. It's not it doesn't feel good. I feel like you need to be more risky with this character. Really kind of just go all out, maybe. See, even if I try and block everything, I'm still taking damage back. Well, let's okay, let's continue. This kind of sucks. Here, let's use this. And I'll hit him for 1 back. So what have you been up to? Any interesting adventures, Goro? Have you been any interesting encounters? Okay, let's try and go all out. I'll probably die real quick. Eruption, deal 9 damage and enter Wrath. No, this seems stupid though, look. Because I'm gonna receive double damage. I don't want to take double damage. Kidding me? Deal 6 damage. Yeah, I feel like this character is for players who have kind of gotten more used to the game, and yeah, I'm still a noob in a lot of ways. Ooh, big damage. Damn. All right. Wait, what's that? Add a card. Okay. At the end of your turn, if you are in calm, gain 5 block. Flurry of blows, 0. When deal 4 damage whenever you change stances. Return this from your discard pile to your hand. Sands of Time, retain. Deal 20 damage when retained. Lower its cost by. Oh damn, that sounds good. Woo! I like that. Okay, let's take that. Even though I bet I won't be able to use it too often. Goro, I went to a place called Multimags today. Saw a treasure trove of French comics, amazing art and layouts, stuff like Hergé, Tintin, and Corto Maltese, all in French. Almost bought some, but held back. Those French comics, aren't they like kind of like large format? And sometimes they're like a hardcover. They're really cool, but they're kind of like a little awkward to store compared to like all the other normal American format comics. But yeah, I remember renting, or not renting, borrowing Tintin from the library. Corto Maltese, I kind of discovered much later in life, but I really loved the artwork of that comic book. I think that there was an anime, or not anime, an animated movie or something at some point. Goro, I may go back for some of them, but I like the English, though I do sometimes get other languages if I love the art and can't find it another way. There's a French Donald Duck comic, or is it Mickey Mouse? And the art for that is amazing, and I'm like, why can't we get a Disney movie based off of that? Because it looks so great. I don't have the name, but I'm pretty sure I have the artist. I'm following the artist on Instagram or something, but really amazing artwork. As you make your way down a long corridor, you see a banana, a donut, and a box floating about. No, upon closer inspection, they are tied to strings coming from holes in the ceiling. There is a quiet cackling from above you as you approach the objects. What do you do? Banana, heal, which I think I need. Max HP +5. All right, let's get the banana. It is nutritious and slightly magical, healing you. Yay, leave. All right. You duck into a small hut. Inside you find what appears to be a forge. The smithing tools are covered with dust, yet a fire roars inside the furnace. You feel on edge. Upgrade a card in your deck. Obtain a special relic and get cursed. Okay, let's upgrade a card. What's this one? 26 damage. I like 26 damage. Let's do it. I'm kind of playing a little hastily here because I feel like this is going to be a wash of a run. Okay, so we can retain this, and then it'll get cheaper the longer we retain this card. Damn, man. Okay, here. Let's try this. So I've got 4 now. Wrath. We'll enter the Wrath stance. This seems like a bad idea, but let's do it anyways. Okay, we're taking 22 damage, which is not good. I don't know if you've seen the movie, the latest Wes Anderson movie, Goro. It's called The French Dispatch. Night Trap got that for me for my birthday, but we watched it recently, and it's funny. It's a good movie, but the only reason I'm mentioning it now is that a lot of the visual styling that you see in the movie is based off of Tintin, based off of Hergé, like the cover of the magazine, because the whole movie is sort of based around this fictional magazine in France, and the cover art for the magazine is sort of formatted in that Tintin sort of way. And without spoiling anything, they incorporate illustrations within the movie itself periodically, and the illustrations do have that kind of clear line style. I think that's what Hergé, or people who were like critiquing his artwork, I think that's what they kind of called that look that he had for his art style, Hergé. Okay, we can win. There we go. Okay, I feel like I'm getting closer to understanding the strategy for this character. Put a card from your discard pile into your hand. Alright, let's get this one. I'll need to definitely play this character several more times to kind of get used to it. I mean, as for the actual movie itself, it doesn't really have like a Tintin vibe or anything. Like, it's not like an adventure movie. It's just that they kind of borrowed the visual styling for certain aspects of the movie. Pretty neat. I liked it. Different. It's kind of different than the other Wes Anderson movies, just because it doesn't have like a single narrative. It's not like following the story of Steezy Sue or the Tenenbaum family. It's kind of like these. It's almost as if you are Hey, Bacon, how's it going? It's almost as if you're perusing through a magazine, and the magazine is being like read to you, but in a movie way. It's like, like in a magazine, there's just like several articles. It's just like that. There's just, 4 or 5 articles in this movie, and then when you're finished the articles, that's the end of the movie. There isn't really a connective tissue, not really, but it's good. I liked it. Okay, game 5 block. Timothy Chalamet is in it. Paul Atreides himself, but he's possibly the weakest guy in the movie. Alright, let's see. Okay, we can kill one. Oh no, he blocked? Son of a bitch. Alright, let's do this. Alright. Bacon talking about Dune, actually, talking about the recent Wes Anderson movie, or Wes Anderson's most recent movie, called The French Dispatch. It has Paul Atreides in it. Let's see. Deal 7 damage for each enemy in combat. Okay, here, let's do this, and then we'll do this and this. Okay. Okay, so this character can kind of kill quite quickly. Can deal a lot of damage, but takes a lot of damage back. So it's kind of like a glass cannon build, I guess, is what they call it. Gain 7 block and exit the stance. Deal 3 damage 3 times and enter Wrath. Shuffle this card into your draw pile. If you are in Wrath, apply 3 vulnerable to all enemies, otherwise enter Wrath. Huh. I don't know. I need to get used to these cards. Like, they can tell me what they do, but I kind of need to actually use them to really understand how to use them. How are you doing, Bacon? What are you saying these days? I know that you mentioned that you went to the hobby shop the other day after watching Uncharted. So did you actually end up buying anything? 6 damage. Okay, here we go. One of these. Oh, not that one. Okay. Okay, I'm kind of getting used to this character, kind of understanding a bit. Grow. Yeah, the main reason why I'm playing this game today is just that I've been doing a decent amount of painting and hobby streams, and just wanted to mix things up. Of course, we were on the verge of Elden Ring, and so I also was like, oh, I want to play something, but I don't really want to. I don't know what I feel like playing at the moment. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't know. I just got Elden Ring on the mind, and I don't know, if I was painting, I feel like it would just be like a just chatting stream, and I'd end up just talking about Elden Ring. I don't know. Let's see. Deal 8 damage. If the last card played this combat was a skill, apply 1 vulnerable. Alright, whatever. Goro owed a type of poutine called the Hangover. So what does that consist of? What is inside this poutine? Sounds interesting. Poutine. Yeah, how do you pronounce like, I mean, for all my life I've basically just pronounced it poutine, but when we went to like Ottawa a few times, or even when I'm listening to podcasts from like Wooly and stuff, they pronounce it like poutine or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of situational. If I'm in Ontario, I'll probably just say poutine, but if I'm sort of like more in further east, maybe I'll go I'll say poutine. Bacon, speaking of paint, I picked up some gold markers. Oh, what brand? Goro has 2 fried eggs and an entire English breakfast and cheese and beef, and it's just chaos. Yeah, that. Yeah, I find that there's a lot of poutine variations that it's just like, yeah, it's your normal poutine, but we're just gonna put a bunch of stuff on it, you know, and it's like when you're eating it, it's not like it goes well together. It's just literally all these elements crammed into a big paper basket or something like that. Um, yeah, in a lot of cases, I'd probably just go for the normal poutine. And for anyone that's watching right now or in the future that doesn't know what a poutine is or a poutine, it's a French, it's a Canadian thing. It's French fries, gravy, and cheese curds. That's the basic layout. Uh, I believe that in America there's some kind of like equivalent. They call it like carnival fries or something weird like that. But yeah, that's generally what a poutine is. Okay, let's try and kill something. Three. No, we can't do that yet. Okay, let's go for this. Ooh, dead. Nice. I like dead. Bacon, I went with the Gundam one, tested them out last night, and they worked out pretty well. Okay, so Bacon, I remember watching that review on YouTube, and I don't know if you saw it, but in the review, it seemed like the Gundam marker had like a bit of like grit inside of a little grit, like every time he kind of used it, especially on flat surfaces, it was really noticeable. I don't. How has it been for you thus far? Have you been noticing that, or it's not a big deal? It seemed like it would be very noticeable on smooth surfaces. Okay, let's use this miracle. And 26 damage. And we can do one more damage. Bacon, I pity the fool who never tried the delicacy that is poutine. Yeah, I mean, yeah, for anyone that's never tried it, you can look up a recipe and try and make it yourself. It's really not that hard. You can just hop on over to the grocery store, get yourself some McCain's fries or whatever, get some French fries, and the only thing that might be a little hard to find is the curds. I don't know how widely available cheese curds are, like if you're living in America. In Canada, it's fairly easy just because, like, you know, people make poutine at home. Deal 4 damage. 2 damage. Dead. You know, I was also thinking about playing Dungeons and Dragons today, the Capcom arcade game. However, I actually don't have it downloaded. I'll have to download it, so I'll save that for next time. I also have to test it out. I'm sure it'll work fine while I'm streaming, but yeah, probably should test it out a bit. Let's see. What is Insight? Insight, retain, draw 2 cards, and then exhaust. Whatever. Treasure! Wing boots, you may ignore paths. Okay, I've had that before. So now we can, because I have the wing boots, I can choose any path I want. So let's go this way. Let's go this a ways. Shop. Distilled Chaos. Play the top 3 cards of your draw pile. Start each combat with 1 strength. The boot. Whenever you would deal 4 or less unblocked damage, increase it to 5. Frozen Eye. When viewing your draw pile, the cards are now shown in order. Panacea. Secret Weapon. Put in an attack from your draw pile into your hand. Deal 7 damage. Oh my god, that sounds devastating. Deal 7 damage. When retained, increases damage by 4 this combat? Sheesh. Follow up. Gain 6 block. Gain 3 block. If you are in Wrath, gain 9 additional block. Whenever a card is created during combat, upgrade it. Whenever a card is created during combat, upgrade it. Shoot. Alright, skip that and let's go. Let's heal up. Bacon, I didn't really notice any of that, to be fair. It's only on a small part, so it might be why. Yeah, the guy was saying it shouldn't be too big of a deal when you're doing it on small parts. So you used it on, I take it that you used it on your Ludens? What? Oh, I went to the a shop again? Oh shit, and whatever. Oh man, look at all these slimes. Holy crap. Oh my gosh, so much damage. There you go. Wow. Total wipeout. Nice. Deal 7 damage for each enemy in combat. 7 damage for each. Okay, we'll take that again. I feel like I have 2 of those cards. Another shop. I don't think I need to shop again. Bacon, yes, on the Ludens. Makes a huge difference. Gonna start putting some water slide decals on it. Oh, I take it you bought the micro set and the micro soft. Yeah, let me know how that works. Wow. Oh shit, that's the end of my turn? Oh no. Ooh. Man, you can do some big damage with this character, I'm quickly understanding. Meditate. Put a card from your discard pile into your hand and retain it. Enter calm. Evaluate. Gain 6 block. Deal 6 damage at a smite. Okay, we're going purely offensive here. Zero offense. She'll probably bite us in the butt at the end, but we'll do it. We'll do it. How's my life? I didn't even look at my life. Okay, let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, actually, that was unnecessary. Kind of a wasteful play there, but that's okay. Deal 12 damage to all your enemies. Ooh, not that. We have to do this in the right order because this card here, Conclude, deal 12 damage to all enemies and then end your turn. So you want to save that for the end. You don't want to use that at the start. And follow up. And here we go. Yep, end the turn. Water slides. 1 and then 3. Man, I don't think going into Wrath is a great idea because this guy's gonna hurt. Deal 7 damage. Follow up. I got 2 energy. 2 energon cubes. Use that, and yeah. Not a good idea to go into Wrath. Okay, I think we can go on the offensive now. Damage. Retain. Let's retain that. Let's retain that. We can make it cheaper if we wait for the next turn. I'm all about the bargains. Goro, man, that was nasty. Something a very drunk person or even a hungover person would eat. Yeah, I mean, it says on the tin, right? Mary Trunks is in the house. How's it going, Mary Trunks? What are you saying these days? How is Babby? How is the Babby? Started walking yet? I'm just kidding. Goro, I barely made it past the first layer. Yeah, yeah. It seems like something that I guess you were hungry. You had hungry eyes, attracted by the allure. What is the strategy here? Goro, put the baby to sleep. Mommy is also asleep, and so now you are awake, and you are free to do as you wish. Deal 12 damage to all enemies, and then end your turn. No, we don't want to do that. Okay, okay. Gotta use math here, guys. Gotta use our math skills. Quick maths. Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. This works. Okay. Okay, that takes care of the threat of imminent damage. Got 2 more. Oh. That one's... Oh, yeah. Okay. There we go, and then that one. Nice. PS5 is delayed, arriving March 4th. Still, that's not too far away. Very excited. Must be very excited to get that. We win. Woohoo! 97 gold. Fear potion? Apply 3 vulnerable. Vulnerable creates creatures take 50% more damage. Ooh, that sounds good. Here, let's how do I replace this? Discard and then yeah. Deus Ex Machina, unplayable. When you draw this card, add 2 miracles to your hand and exhaust. What's a miracle? Oh. Ragnarok? Deal 5 damage to a random enemy 5 times. Woo! Deal 12 damage. Deals additional damage equal to mantra. Gain this combat mantra. When you obtain 10 mantra, enter divinity. Oh god, that sounds too complex. My brain can't handle it. Let's just go for something that I can somewhat understand. Goro, speaking of March 4th, have you guys seen the Little Caesars Pizza Panzerotti shaped like the bat symbol? Yeah. It's too... I don't know. It doesn't look good in my opinion. Like I don't know how much it costs, but you're kind of better off just getting a normal pizza because it almost seems like if you imagine a circular sized pizza, they've kind of cut into the circle to create the shapes of the bat symbol, which means if you're paying just as much as a normal pizza, you're actually missing out on what would normally be a full circular sized pizza, if you know what I'm saying. I mean, it's kind of a fun thing, but meh. Interesting though. Like normally these big movies partner up with Wendy's or Burger King or McDonald's, but almost never Little Caesars. So that's kind of interesting for that alone. Replaces pure water at the start. Add 3 miracles to my hand. Okay, let's get this one. Holy water. I think that's better. I mean, I might try it. As much as I was shitting on it, I might try it, but I don't know. I actually don't mind Little Caesars as well. I kind of like the deep dish. I haven't really had their normal pizza, Little Caesars pizza, at least not in recent memory, but yeah, I kind of don't mind Little Caesars. Okay, we got, oh, 3 miracles. Oh, I understand. Wow, I've got so many miracles. Holy shit. How come I have so many? What the heck? Okay. I'll take it. This guy's gonna do 10 damage. Well, shit, let's, okay. And these miracles are free. Gain 8 block. Okay, we need to block some of this damage. And there we go. That's all I can do. I haven't had a pizza in a good long while. I'm not saying pizza is like amazing or anything, but it was kind of like my standard go-to pizza. Been a while. What do we want to do? I think that's all I can do for now. So there was a bit of misinformation earlier today about Elden Ring. There was some talk about Digital Foundry not being able to release their performance analysis video for Elden Ring at launch. That Bandai Namco was denying them the ability to do that, stopping them from doing that. But it didn't take too long for Digital Foundry to make a clarification. It sounds like it's not that Bandai Namco is stopping them from doing that. It's more of like they mutually agreed to wait until the day 1 patch is out before they can fully put out their performance analysis review. And I think that's fair. I think that's, you know, that sounds reasonable. I mean, most people are going to be playing the game in a post-patch state, right? No one's going to play the game before patching it, right? The only people that would be playing the game in that state are like reviewers, I guess, right now, or people who have somehow acquired an early copy. So it's fine. Okay, let's try and do some big damage. Deal 9 damage into Wrath. Deal 6 damage 3 times. Woo! This guy's almost dead. There you go, you're dead. Mary Trunks, time for SF5. Oh! I don't know if you're still around, Mary Trunks, but what are your thoughts on the teaser for SF6? As Gorov said, did you guys see the teaser for SF6? I did. I did see it. There's nothing much to really go on for it. That wasn't Ken, Goro, just so that you know. That was Luke, which was the final DLC character from SF5. I'm not going to go so far as to say that was lame. To me, it wasn't enough. And I've been watching it a couple more times, and there's some things that are kind of worth talking about in terms of what we saw there. The first of all, my initial impression was that this was a CG trailer, but now I'm actually not 100% sure. The engine for that Capcom has been using lately for all of their games is called the RE engine. It started with Resident Evil 7, and they've been using it on Devil May Cry 5 as well as other games that they've put out since. And that graphic engine is actually pretty amazing. So if it turns out that Street Fighter 6 is going to be using the RE engine, I think we can actually get pretty close to what we're seeing there in the trailer. The other thing I took note of was just these little character things, and I've talked about this with Bacon, but we get a look at Ryu's feet. He's wearing sandals. It sort of reminds me of Akuma, but he's not wearing those like big wooden block sandals. But it's an interesting little character detail for Ryu there that I wonder if he's going to be fighting in that stance. He also looks a little older. I wasn't 100% sure if he was older looking, but Bacon kind of convinced me that he's kind of got that like old man strong physique, if you know what I mean. And like there was this period of time where like there was pictures of Arnold kind of like in his past his prime, but still physically strong looking, but kind of like an old man strong. Ryu's kind of more along those lines from what we saw there, which is pretty interesting. Mary Trunks, I don't think you should lose hope in SF6 when you've only seen just about what, like 30 seconds, if that. You know, let's have a little let's keep an open mind here. You can freely shit on it when you actually see gameplay. I mean, I'll freely shit on it when I see gameplay, but so far, I mean, it's hardly anything. I mean, lots of people can analyze it, as I have been just now, but yeah, there's not too much to go on. Okay, Ryu looks angry. He never is. I don't know. I feel like I've seen angry images of Ryu. You know, when he's about to throw a Hadouken and stuff like that. Let's see. 8 Mark. What is this? What is Mark? Deal 14 damage. Exit your stance. All right, let's just take that. Bacon, it's silly to lose hope this early. Wait for actual gameplay before you nitpick. Yeah, I mean, it was like, I'd like to see more. Everyone would like to see more. Everyone would like to see more. Capcom has been doing this for many years. They kind of know what they're doing. If you're annoyed and disappointed, that's a completely calculated response. Like, that's what they wanted you to feel. Like, they want you to wait and see more. So it worked. I mean, I was kind of like, I need to see more, but you know, all in due time. I'm sure that we'll see some leaks as well fairly soon, just because yeah, Capcom's a pretty leaky ship. I feel like we always hear something about Resident Evil games or the next Monster Hunter game well in advance. Enter Wrath. I think it's safe to do this. Oh, and then we can exit the stance. So we can go into the Wrath stance and deal double damage, and then exit the stance and therefore avoid taking the double damage, if I'm understanding this correctly. Okay, pretty cool. Bacon, that's more of an intense look than an angry look. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I think you're right, Bacon. Goro, I have fun with Street Fighter, but it's hard to get excited when you know most of the game won't even be released. when you know most of the game won't even be released, it will likely be a starting lineup and then multiple editions. Yeah, I mean that's Goro. That's essentially every fighting game. I've kind of felt that way about every single fighting game. Like, if you buy into the vanilla version of Guilty Gear, of Tekken, of Street Fighter, Blaze Blue, whatever, you're basically an early adopter. And then 4 years later, you can pick up like the Ultimate Edition. Mortal Kombat's like this too. 2 years later, you can pick up the Ultimate Edition that has everything, and you can kind of interpret that as being like the actual full release of the game. Because otherwise, you're just kind of picking up the little DLC characters and all of that stuff, and it's gonna take a long time, and it's gonna take a lot of money too. And you might not even want those characters, the DLC characters. So it's kind of a trap. It's a trap in a sense for people like me, and I'm guessing you're like this too, Goro, where it's like you like fighting games, but you're not like 100% invested in it, and so it's just more convenient to wait in a sense and get the big honkin' edition that has everything. And yet, in my case, like I'm certainly going to be buying SF6 on release, and it's like I know that there's going to be all these characters that are going to be released for it later on, but I'm like, I gotta get it, right? How can I not buy it? I gotta get it. Deal 6 damage. Okay, let's get some of these miracles going on. I think we can win. $52 damage? Suck it. Dead. Making no games now, editing a video. Ooh, can you tease what video you're editing? That's exciting. Goro, you're right. Bacon, more like that's just how games are these days. Yes. However, in the case of a fighting game where primarily you're going to be facing off against other people, and there really isn't much to a fighting game other than the fighting, right? The longevity of the game is dependent upon releasing these new characters to continue having an interest in playing it. Whereas, you know, if there's DLC for a game that's primarily story focused, sometimes you can just be like, meh, I don't need the story. Like, I've done that with nearly every From Software game. Like, I've only bought the DLC for Bloodborne because I just didn't really care about to play more in most cases. Gain 7 block, exit your stance. Deal 9 damage. See, I've got 20 cards, and at a certain point we're kind of feeling like we need to just stop getting cards. Let's get this one because it's good to have 2 of those, and we might actually stop getting cards. Bacon, something me and Mojo filmed from a few days ago with the new setup. Ooh, interesting. An old beggar cloaked in fur reaches his hands out towards you as you pass. Spare some coin, child. Offer 75 gold and remove a card from my deck. Okay. What am I gonna remove? I'm not even sure. Kind of happy with all my cards thus far. Deal 7 damage for each card in combat. Deal 7 damage if the... okay, tell you what. Let's get out... Oh, shit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's get out an attack card. There you go. I don't know, that may have been a bad idea. Shop. Let's do some shopping. Whenever you use a potion, heal 5 HP. Every 10th attack you play deals double damage. Ooh. How much money do I have? Cards which exhaust when played will instead be discarded 50% of the time. You know what? The item that I'm looking for is the one that basically gives me another chance to live. So let's save our dough and see if we can get that. at some point. Here, let's go shopping here. No, no, no. Every time you play 10 attacks game, it's nunchucks. Nah, it's not what I'm looking for. Ooh, gotta fight an elite. Bacon, almost done editing. Gotta let Mojo watch it and make some adjustments. Aggressive. 6 damage 2 times. Painful stabs. Whenever you receive attack damage from this enemy, add a wound into your discard pile. Okay, let's go. Let's use this all up. We'll enter Wrath. And now we're doing 52 damage. That is so good. Woohoo! And we'll gain 7 block and exit the stance. Bacon, back to Street Fighter. Would you like to see it become free-to-play? I think that's going to depend on the free-to-play method that they use. You tell me, Bacon, is there any fighting game that's free-to-play that has a good like microtransaction scheme or whatever you want to call it? I have no idea. And if it's free to play, they're going to go for sort of like the Fortnite audience in the sense that they want it to be on everything. They want everyone to play it. And to me, that kind of goes at odds with something that I would really like Street Fighter 6 to be, which is I'd like to have it really good graphics. And I don't know if free-to-play games can necessarily have amazing graphics in the sense that we're going to approach something close to what the trailer showed. Instead, if it's free-to-play, the images of Fortnite and this really like kind of clean, sleek, commercialized style come to mind. Not to say that free-to-play games always have to look like that, but I think that if you sort of follow that logic through, a free-to-play game has to be available on a lot of platforms, and thus a lot of platforms would mean that graphically the benchmark is sort of lowered, and in that sense I'm not too excited about that. But on the other hand, if it's free-to-play, that means more people are going to play it, and that's kind of cool. But my stance is kind of shifted nowadays, whereas I used to be all about like, yeah, let's get Street Fighter, let's grow the audience of Street Fighter, let's sort of make fighting games for everyone. But at the same time, I feel like many companies have tried that and they haven't really nailed it at all. Oh, Destiny 2 has good graphics? Yeah, I guess so. I guess Destiny 2 has good graphics. I don't know if it has like amazing graphics, but it has good graphics. I would hazard to say that, you know, especially with the character models and stuff, I would want something a lot better looking than that. But yeah, like back to what I was saying earlier. What is it? Is it Dota? One of those MOBA games. They're free to play, and obviously they're hugely successful, and they're free to play, and yet they're not like the most accessible games ever in terms of like understanding how to play it. So yeah, these days I'm like, whatever, just make Street Fighter, just make a good Street Fighter game. I don't really care if it's accessible in that sense. Deal 12 damage to all enemies. Okay, we can enter Wrath. Deal 7 damage. Ooh. Don't really have any blocking on hand. Bacon, but yeah, I'm kind of conflicted. Graphics is more important for a fighting game since the characters' sprites are a lot bigger than something like a MOBA. Yeah, correct. I mean, it all depends. Like, this is why Capcom is in the position that they're in. They're a big company. They're big boys. They can figure it out. They'll have to strike the right balance, and I feel like a lot is riding on Street Fighter 6 to get it right straight off the bat. You know, this game has to really be an excellent product day one. They can't have another Street Fighter 5 situation where Street Fighter 5 got to a point where it was good. Like many people would say that it's in an excellent state now. Now that it's like almost over, right? But and we don't have to go over this in detail, but you know that the start of Street Fighter 5 was not the smoothest, and that simply cannot happen again for Street Fighter 6. This game has to be very, very good, and I'm not saying it has to be a complete package right out the gate, but it has to be close to it. And it's going to be a service game in the sense that it's going to be sustained and supported for 5 years, 6 years, or whatever, or more. But yeah, it has to be very good straight out the gate. That's the main thing, in my opinion. Not enough Energon. Let's use one of these. Here, let's use this. Why not? I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are more than willing to just pay the $60, $70, whatever for Street Fighter 6, you know? So it's not that the hardcore players or the sort of the longtime supporters of Street Fighter are going to balk at buying a new Street Fighter game. It's really an issue of growing the audience. And yes, you might be able to grow the audience with it being free to play, but there's this question of, sure, you can grow it, but can you keep it? Like, and there's a lot of different expectations that come hand to hand when a game is free to play, and I don't know if I really want that, I don't know. Okay, can we get into Wrath? No. Unfortunately, I'm going to be taking quite a bit of damage back. Woo! There we go. Bacon, and then there's the issue of how they can monetize it if they go to free to play. Yeah, like a free to play game or a service game rather. It just there's a lot of baggage that comes with it, and yeah, I'm more than happy to just pay for the game if it means we can avoid a lot of the free to play monetization BS. Mango? What's a mango do? Upon pickup, raise your max HP by 14? Okay. Stance potion. Gain 3 block. If you are in Wrath, gain 9 additional block. Well, that sounds kind of good. Alright, let's get that. Stance potion. Oh, I understand. Upgrade all cards in your hand for the rest of the combat. Okay, let's get rid of this and take this stance potion. Basically lets us change our stance without having to use a card, so that's kind of cool. Scaling the city, you notice a wall covered in the writing of ancients. As you try to wrap your head around the puzzling symbols and glyphs could mean, the writing begins to glow. Suddenly, the message becomes clear. Remove a card from your deck, upgrade all strikes and defense. Yo, let's do that. Nice. I like upgrade. Upgrade. I wonder if they'll bring back fight money, though. The whole fight money concept. I feel like they kind of downplayed it as the seasons went on for Street Fighter V, and for the most part, people who are really into Street Fighter don't bother with fight money. They'll just buy the characters or buy the season's pass. But I did kind of like the fight money concept. Again, for someone like me, I did end up buying DLC and characters and seasons, but I also occasionally would just pick up a few characters via fight money, just because I wasn't interested in the entire season. So I would be kind of interested. Yeah, it's a decent idea, Bacon, just poorly executed. Yeah, I wouldn't mind if it came back in some form, but they kind of did a better job of executing it. Ancient tea set, that sounds good. Yeah, there's a lot of question marks for the game, obviously. I mean, again, I feel like Capcom, they did their job. It was a calculated kind of trailer to get people talking about it, even at the risk of upsetting some people like Mary Trunks. But I mean, yeah, if the intent was just to tease, hence the name teaser, and to get people talking, I think they got the job done. The next time we hear about the game is going to be summer, apparently, but I wouldn't put it past leakers to kind of drip feed us with a bit more information, or Capcom themselves to get us more information before then. Deal 12 damage to all enemies and end my turn. Gain 3 block. Okay, let's pass our turn. No, we gotta do this. We gotta deal 12 damage to all enemies at least. Yeah. Bacon, I guess we'll have to let Project L test out free-to-play. Yeah, I mean, they're gonna be the ones to really test the free-to-play market. And as far as a game that's gonna grow the audience, like, that's the game to look out for. But I wouldn't mind if Street Fighter just stays the game that's for people that like playing Street Fighter. You always run the risk of making a product that ends up being really bland if you try and sort of appease the lowest common denominator. If you try and appease casuals. And I feel like Street Fighter over the years has kind of made some effort to do that, but yeah, if they continue on that path, it's possible that they'll just lose their identity as Street Fighter, So, yeah, I mean, it's all just theoretical at this point. 52 damage, let's do that. 14. Ooh, 18 damage. Oh, deal 14 to each enemy in combat? I like that. What? Oh, no, that was 4. Oh, I misread it. Oh, well. Project L. Yeah, hopefully we hear more about Project L in the near future. I feel like we're in a kind of like a golden era for fighting games. There's just a lot of options for everyone at this point, which is pretty neat. Okay. I think we run. There we go. There's just a lot of options for everyone to get out new games, to play something that they will like. Gain 7 block, exit my stance. Again, have that card already. Ooh, a knight. Centurion. I'm guessing the mystic buffs. Yeah, okay. Okay, let's get this going. Enter Wrath. 9 damage. Ooh. Shit, this guy's not dead yet. Shit. Let's see what kind of buff they'll use. Strength, okay. Not a healing buff, at least. Deal 7 damage for each enemy in combat. Okay. Okay, let's end it. $53. Let's see. Deal 9 damage. Deal 8 damage to all enemies. Well, it's free. Whatever. Deal 12 damage to all enemies and my turn. Okay, well, obviously we shouldn't play that right now. Deal 7 damage if the last card played this combat was an attack. Gain energy? Okay. Oh my god. There you go. Just 1 point of health left. Scry. Deal 9 damage, gain block. Return this from the discard pile to your hand. Return this. Whatever. Don't need it. In front of you sits an altar to a forgotten god. Atop the altar sits an ornate female statue with arms outstretched. She calls to you, demanding a sacrifice. Gain 5 max HP, but lose 22 HP, become cursed, and get the decay card. Unplayable at the end of your turn, take 2 damage? Ugh. Shit. This all sucks. I'll have to find a way to heal up now. Damage for each. Wait, what's the deal here? Upon receiving damage, gain 3 block. Block gain increases as malleable is triggered. Resets to 3 at the start of your turn. Not sure if I'm understanding that correctly. Alright, let's play these normal ones. Deals 7 damage. Oh man, I was watching some videos of the GWBC. That's the Gundam World Building Championship, or GBWC, Gundam Building World Championship. It's kind of like, you know, who's the best at making little toys competition. You know what I mean. It's a competition for building Gunpla, and man, like I follow also the Golden Demon Awards, like that's for painting Warhammer stuff. It's a pretty big deal, and they hold one regionally, like in the US, in the UK, so on and so forth. They have these every year. Who's the best at painting war dollies, painting Warhammer? And so there's the same thing for Gunpla, but I have to say that I was watching some of the footage from the 2019 GBWC, and it's just so much more elaborate. It's such a hugely important affair that I was shocked at how seriously everyone takes it. Like, I was watching this video and you can feel the tension as everyone is arriving with their giant, like, hard suitcases with their preciously packed Gunpla, and they're setting it up, and they've brought like a little extra containers of paint and glue and stuff to fix their models or to do the finishing touches, and they each have a little glass cabinet to put their models in. And you could just feel the tension from all these guys, because each of these guys, remember, they've won the GBWC Nationals, right? So there was the American guy, and yeah, he had like climbed the ranks and conquered America, and now he has traveled to Japan for the grand finale. And the same thing for Australia, same thing for Singapore, Philippines, Thailand, Japan itself. And it's just really amazing, the models that everyone had made. I actually really like the American guy, the model that he made, but unfortunately he didn't win. I think it may have been Thailand that won, but yeah, that was 2019. Very cool stuff, very interesting. Okay. Deal 4 damage, add a smite to my hand. There's the smite. There's the eruption, which I probably would have liked to have used previously, but we cannot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, I don't think it's worth going into smite right now. Calm. Okay. Bacon, I'll have to check that out sometime. Yeah, there's actually a number of videos, some from Gundam Info themselves, where they kind of previewed the upcoming season of the GBWC. There's a video like that, which is a more concise video, and then Zaku Aurelius has kind of like a mini documentary on the 2019 GBWC, and I think they skipped 2020 because of obviously the fall of humanity that has occurred since then. Yeah, but I think GBWC is coming back. Mary Trunks, you joining? Bacon, are there any rivalries between regions? I don't really know about that. I mean, if it's a video coming from Gundam Info site, they probably wouldn't really highlight that sort of thing. I don't really know about that. But from what I had seen, it seemed like at least a lot of the English-speaking countries kind of got along fairly well. Like, for example, the Canadian champion and the American and the Australian champion, they all kind of got along pretty well. And yeah, I don't really know about other ones. And also there's a 15 and under category. Dude, so these guys are like about, were they just about our age or maybe younger, making these models when we entered that competition at the Fan Expo? But the models that these kids are making are unbelievable. Like, they're out of this world, and they're like 15, 14, whatever. I was like, damn. Deal 19 damage when retrained. Okay, its cost gets lower. Okay, we need to focus on blocking. Let's focus on that. 14. Okay, we got a lot of ground to cover for the block. Ooh, shit, was that actually overkill? Oh well. People are rage quitting on you now, Fairy Trunks? Man, you should post the rage quits on your YouTube or something, just for the satisfaction, just to shame them. Deal 26 damage. Okay, let's try and get some big damage going on. Okay, let's get this. And that. And this. And we win. Sash Whip Plus. Deal 10 damage if the last card played at this combat was an attack applied to a weak. Put 2 cards from your discard pile into your hand and retain them. Intercom, enter your turn. Ooh. Nah, skip it. I've got 22 cards already. Sleep. Kind of running low on health, but let's see how we fare. Battle Sturt. The champ. The champ. He's the champ. He's gonna do 12 damage to me. Enter Wrath. Okay. Let's do this. 12. Smite. Man, this guy's a lot of health. Okay, we can intercom. So we've exited the berserker state. Alright. Face slap. Ooh, face slap. Damn, this guy's gonna hit again? God damn. Okay. Hold up. Okay. Holy shit, I'm gonna take a big damage. Don't have the defense. Oh wait, do I have something here? Oh shit. I should have played this card. Damn. Okay, let's block. Let's focus on blocking. Deal 9 damage. Okay, I can't use these cards yet, or the potions. Not too useful at the moment. Man, I hope that Elden Ring is going to be in a in a decent state on launch. Hopefully. Well, post-patch, that is. Deal 3 damage 3 times, into Wrath. Okay. Okay, got a strat here. Let's do this. Should have done this earlier. No need to block. Alright, let's just end the turn. Bacon, are you going with digital or physical for Elden Ring? I am going digital. You have to keep in mind that my PlayStation 4 is a PS4 digital version. The disc drive is not functional. Okay. Let's use a bit of these babies up. Enter Wrath. Am I not in Wrath stance already? I am. Yeah. Okay, start off with one of these. So let's fire these up. Gain 6 block. Yeah, this should be fine, right? Yeah, exclusive PS4. I mean, the thinking was just hold off on replay. We tried to get it fixed, but they couldn't do anything about it. At least at this particular location or store. But yeah, I was like, well, there's really no point in buying a new PS4, right? Just hold off until we can get a PS5. Retain, deal 39 damage when retained. Holy shit, this guy, so much damage. Oh. Fuck. Oh, wait. Okay. Damn it. Oh, I'm dead. Shit, I'm dead. Well. What is this? Let's, drink and go to calm. Let's do that. Oh shit, I made a mistake. Anyways, I'm dead. I'm dead. Execute. Yeah, I don't think there was a way to win. But then again, maybe I wasn't thinking properly. Well, this is the first time I've really seriously played this character, and I think I kind of understand how to play her a little better. So, you know, for the first run, or the second run, because I just tested it out like once I unlocked her, that wasn't so bad. I have a little bit of a better idea on how she plays. Basically like a glass cannon, at least when you play with the cards that I had. What are these? New cards unlocked. The Blasphemy, Enter Divinity, die next turn, and then exhaust? What? Upon entering this stance, gain 3 energy. Attacks deal triple damage. Exit this stance at the start of your next turn, and then you die? Yo, that's sick though. Devotion. At the start of your turn, gain 2 mantra. Okay. Interesting. Prostate. Gain 2... Prostrate, not prostate. Prostrate. Gain 2 mantra. Gain 4 block. So once you achieve 10 mantra, you go into a divinity state where you get 3 more energy and and deal triple damage, which is pretty nice. But these cards are unlocked, which means that they become available to you via through the course of the game as rewards or whatever. So you don't actually get to choose them at the start or anything like that. Free Couscous, hey, how's it going, Free Couscous? What are you up to these days? Nice seeing you. Actually, so we've completed this first run. Let's take a little break, and when I get back, we'll hit up Slay the Spire one more time. All right, guys. So be right back. Oh, I just remembered I have a break screen. Let's just go to that. BRB.